Hello rock and metal fans, welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. So today I'm going to do another review from a band called Perfect Plan. So album's called Time for a Miracle. Swedish band. What is happening over there? Where Sweden are producing so many great bands, and this is a great band. So this band performed in 2014. Musically, melodic, heavy rock, AOR. You know, bordering on the heavy rock side without a doubt. Guitar driven, guitar is at the forefront. 12 tracks on this, released on the Frontiers, and great label, producing some brilliant bands. Released September the 4th, 2020, so last Friday, I believe that is. So this is their second album. First album's called All Rise, released in 2018, so a really new band, you know, a really new band. Only been going, like I said, 6 years. So there's one thing this band have got, and they are a great band. The guitarist is great. The keyboard player is great. So you've got the guitarist is Rolf Nordstrom. I'm going to pronounce some of these wrong, I know. Keyboard player Leif Elling. Bass player Mats Bystorm. And the drummer is Fredrik Forsberg. One thing this band have got that of making them stand out and putting them right up there with the best European bands at the moment, you know, along with I always go on about a couple of bands that I on here, Crazy Licks, Eclipse and Heat. They're probably the top bands, European at the moment, melodic, heavy rock, 80s sort of sounding. One thing that this band has got that's going to put them right up there is the vocalist. Wow. His name's Kent Hilli, lead vocalist. And he has got an amazing voice, which you're going to hear. I'm going to play you a couple of little tracks, snippets of some tracks. So, who do they sound like? So, I was listening to this, and I'd say they've got elements of Foreigner, Journey, the bands that I've mentioned already, Eclipse and Heat, them sort of sounding, you know, modern as well. But Survivor, wow. I mean, they have got a definite Survivor element to their sound. And, you know, I know there's some huge Survivor fans who watch this channel. And you need to check this band out. Honestly, they are great. So I've got some real favourite tracks on here. And to tell you the truth, there's none that are weak. There's no fillers on this album. It's great all the way through. They've got a real class about them, you know. And I think the vocalist really brings that to the forefront. You know, the band musically are great, but the vocalist propels them into the stratosphere here. I'm not joking. He is an absolutely amazing vocalist. Idiot. So I'm gonna play a few tracks for you, a few snippets of some tracks. The first one is a great rocking track. Reminds me of, like, the riffing reminds me of them sort of bands, Eclipse and Heat. I'll play you a little bit, maybe a minute and a half or so. I'm going to play you a couple of more tracks as well. So have a listen to this. This is the opening track, Time for a Miracle.
to that Cold War, a be the sound you hit the floor. It's the sound of a cry that's reaching out. You never felt this fear before. You hear the pounding on your door. With the beat of a drum you start to crawl. Oh, you see them coming, but you stand alone. You hear them calling, now you're on your own. When the wall comes closer and the fight is all we got, it's time, we know that it's time. Just one dying soldier, one life is all we got, it's time, we know that it's time. It's time for a miracle. It's time for a miracle. You hear the sound.
What a great song that is, Time for a Miracle. So next I'm going to play you, well, in bands like this you need a couple of excellent ballads, and they really have got a couple of brilliant ballads on here. So this next one is Fighting to Win. This is one of the ones that sounds really, it's got some elements of Survivor in. You know, there's nothing wrong with showing your influences on an album either, is there? You can tell they're highly influenced by some great 80s bands. So this is like a piano-led song. Really shows the vocals, the amazing vocals of Kent Hilli. And like I said, Fighting to Win. Play you a little bit of this. Have a listen to this. This is an amazing song. Absolutely brilliant. One of my favourites on the album. Fighting to Win.
Sometimes you lose, and sometimes you pay. You live in your hopes and dreams to make them true someday. All those promises made to have and to hold. When the world turns down on you, life just seems so cold. Just the sound of your heart remains. If we learn how to break the chains, we can settle the score. We know this is what we've been fighting for. This is the moment we learn to survive. So here I stand. Takes a man to change the world, like the man I used to be. We were young and wild and free, and we were fighting for our freedom, never giving in. There's one thing you should know, I'll be fighting to win.
What a great song and great vocal on that one. So the last one I'm going to play you is, you've had sort of a lot of rocking song, you've had like a ballad. This one is like a real catchy mid-tempo, hard melodic, hard rock 80s influence song. What About Love, this one's called. Didn't Heart do What About Love? Anyway, it's not that one either. So a real great song. This is probably, this could be one of my favourite songs on the album, easy, but you know, it's hard because they're all good. They're all good. Here we go then. This one's What About Love.
Wishing you could feel
Excellent song, like I said. So, hope you like my review. I would really suggest getting this album. I mean, I don't know, they are getting, you know, every review I've read of this album actually has been great. It's really getting some good hype, you know, and I think they deserve it. They seem like one of the bands that is gonna. It's so difficult though for these bands, you know, how far they go before they make it. You know, it's not easy. You know, so Eclipse and Heat are probably the biggest of those type of bands at the moment. And for bands along them same genres to get big, it ain't easy. It's not easy. It's like the market's a bit flooded at the moment. I mean, it's good for us fans, you know, to be having all these great bands, but for the bands themselves, you know, it's a bit like, I hope it doesn't become too flooded, you know. Remember what happened in the 80s, you know, when there was so many bands who sounded similar, but, you know, with slightly different, you know, ways they made records or slightly different looks, and then look what happened there, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think now that our melodic rock's back, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's got too popular. I'm hoping. We don't want another turnaround of like the early 90s and 2000s, do we? We don't want that. It's going great. Let's keep it as it is. So these guys though deserve to be big. The vocalist, like I said, is out of this world. I hope you can hear that. You know, it's worth getting this album, honestly. It's on Frontiers if you want to buy it. I'm sure it's available everywhere. Great band, great album. Get it. If you want to subscribe, please press the red button, bottom right hand corner. See you next time.